It's Triple Crown here, Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. I'm back at the Eastgate Mall for my first show post-National. If you missed the end of my Part 5 National vlog, I talked about this briefly, but I had actually been scammed for $2,500 the week before this show took place. In fact, it was only a couple days before the footage that you're seeing here. Probably most of you will imagine that I'm not in the best of moods because of this heading into this show. I might sound a little less energetic than normal, not that I'm overly bubbly anyways in a lot of these videos, but if I sound a little bit off, that's really the reason why, because that was definitely pressing on my mind. But instead of laying down on the sword and admitting defeat, I'm just going to try to get up and dust myself off here by having an insane buying show. Now, I could make a huge buying show video, but I don't want to just buy for the sake of buying. I want to make sure that I'm measured in what I am doing. I want to make sure that I am focused and making good decisions, going after a quantity of quality cards throughout the show. I did have a clip originally included of me trying to buy out a dealer at the beginning of the show, but it was kind of long in its runtime. If you'd like to see that kind of in a separate video, I'd be happy to go ahead and edit it and commentate over it, but just for the sake of runtime on this video, it didn't make the cut there. But that's how I started off the show. Now let me get into some of my negotiations. I've got a few questions on prices whenever you get a sec.
Yeah, what's up?
What do you have on the DK?
I'm asking 1,500.
Okay, how about the Richardson?
That one I'm at like 5.
How about Brady?
Brady 5.
Okay.
Bobby 2. This one's 60 because it's an 8.5. This one's hard to comp just because it is a one-on-one.
Right.
But the gold sold for like $250 raw. And I figure 5x for a one-on-one.
Alright, the card I'm looking at is this Absolute DK Metcalf Explosive. It is a green 1-of-1 case hit out of 2023 Absolute. Here are the gold versions of the card, numbered to 10. The gentleman who is selling the card referenced that 250-ish sale there. There's also the 150 and the 185. I definitely think if I had the gold version of this, I would put 250 on it, but having the green all the way up at 1,500, it's just not going to be for me in this case. I think it's an Arena Club 9. The grade doesn't really matter too much to me, particularly on a one-on-one card. It's nice when it's a 10, and maybe I'll pay a little bit more, but generally speaking, I'm not usually too concerned with a grade on a one-on-one unless it's just absolutely decimated into oblivion. But usually if that's the case, it's slabbed authentic or something else. One thing I will do with these, and I see many people try this as well, is look at other players who have sold of the same type of card. So here, for example, are some of the 2023 green explosives that have sold. I took out the rookies because the rookies generally sell for more than the veterans do. But looking at the other veterans, I don't think that Metcalf being priced around $1,500 is going to be something that works for me in this case. I will caution you though, if you are using this strategy of comparing what other players did, it doesn't always work out the best because you never know who's collecting the player that you're looking at. There might be some crazy DK Metcalf collector out there who has to have that card, and they're willing to pay $1,500 for it just because a lesser receiver or a greater receiver may come along and fetch a certain price. There's no real equation that you can try to use to figure out the value from there. It's not a one-for-one type of thing. That's kind of one of the beauties of one-on-ones and why they are some of my favorite cards to buy, because you never really know what's going to happen with them.
How we doing, man?
Good. About yourself?
Good. This guy trying to buy all my cards.
If you're interested in a couple, you know,
I'm interested in them all.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
Just like him?
Yep. This gentleman was set up for the very first time, which I don't think you could tell by his setup there. His value boxes are nice and sorted by price. He's got a nice slotted showcase for his cards. He's got the tablecloth. He's got things organized by sport, by player. He's got the picture frame of his little Venmo QR scanner code thing there. His first time setup looks a heck of a lot better than mine did. When we got to talking later on in the show, he was incredibly cool to work with, had only been in the hobby for about a few months, but you can see next to me there's someone trying to negotiate already. I'm going to give way here. Although I was offered to pick out a few things, I don't want to cherry pick. I don't even know what I was going to pick, really. There were so many good cards in that case. But what I said is, you know what, I'll just come back when you guys finish up. That's kind of general etiquette. If someone's working on a deal, you wait your turn. Now, I circle back probably every 5 minutes or so, waiting for my turn to kind of work something out. On the fourth go-around, I finally see this deal conclude. And I call it a deal, but that's being disingenuous because nothing happened. Basically, what happened is that the guy who was trying to buy makes an offer. It says this is around 85%. The dealer says, well, I don't want to sell at 85% more or less. And the guy walks away without saying anything. No cards, no money change hands, which I felt kind of bad. I don't know if he knew that it was this guy's first time setting up, because I have seen that before where people kind of, I guess, smell blood in the water, for lack of a better term. They see someone set up for the first time and they try to jump on them and hopefully score some kind of crazy deal. To me, I don't like that kind of behavior, because if it's someone who's new to the hobby, like this gentleman later told me he'd only been in it for a few months, that's a really quick way to dissuade someone from coming back in and doing another show, either as a dealer or as a vendor. You want people to stay in the hobby, and you especially want to be able to build bridges with people in the hobby. So when I got to talking with them again after I circled back around, I definitely wanted to make sure I worked out something with them, and you'll see exactly what I worked out right now. Okay, how about Chase Brown?
And I think it's out of 99. Chase Brown's at 300, I think. Actually, I got listed at 4. There's no comps on it. It's at a 10.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Auto. Here's how I priced it. I'd probably take $350 for it. I priced it on his auto cards and other acetates out of 10 with similar players that sold.
Did you pull it yourself?
I did.
That's a sick pull. Congrats.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. And he's going to blow up.
I hope so, for the sake of the Bengals, because they need a run game. How about Monty, the plate auto?
This one?
Yeah.
So it's a 1 of 1, 250.
Okay.
Same thing.
Is it from his rookie year?
I don't know.
19?
Check it out.
Okay, it is. Yeah.
So, printing plate, auto, Montgomery, other cards very similar to that have sold. That's how I priced it, because it's a 1 of 1.
About Jacobs?
Oh, okay.
400 on the Jacobs.
Is that this year's?
It is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Not that this matters. It's got the authenticity. Yeah, it's 2023.
How about Purdy?
The Zooms?
Yep.
I love this card. 450 on the Zoom.
Okay. About Rice?
Jerry?
Yep.
$100.
Okay. The Rookie Kings JSN?
$250.
Okay. How about Kenneth Walker, the RPA?
I love this card. It's out of 10.
When I'm trying to build a stack, or at least a small bundle, what I'm going to do in my head, if I have to ask for prices, is kind of go yes, no in my head. So as he reads them off, I'm kind of keeping a mental tally to myself. Okay, I feel like that's too much, or okay, I feel like I can work with that. Kind of eliminate some of the cards that I may not be as interested in, depending on what he's asking for them, just based off of my first gut reaction to what he says, not really looking anything up. But that's kind of what I'm doing there throughout that clip.
The absolute lowest I'd go would be 1,000.
What about without the aqua?
I think I've got these listed at a fair price.
I do too.
Yeah, so 450, 550. What did you have on the Brock Purdy? 200?
Yeah.
Let me check. So sticker. So 450.
For anybody particular? Or?
800 bucks. So you would be getting this for 200.
A bunch of cards all in there.
Okay.
Signed memorabilia.
So that'd be 1,000 for all of them. Here's what I would tell you, just so you, my perspective.
Yeah.
This is only going up. It's selling for 450 all day.
Okay.
This has been going up. It's selling for that. This is pretty stable at 100 bucks.
Yeah.
This is selling for a lot. I would say around this, or one sold for 321, one sold for 220 something. So that would be getting rid of that one at a deal. These are sticker price. So I do 1,000 for all of them, or 800 for those three.
At this point, I feel that I don't have a lot of leverage to kind of move around unless I change out some of the cards in this deal. Here's the sales history on that Purdy. Yeah, there is that raw one at 320. I know some people will say, oh, it's Probstein, so it's shilled. Well, no, not necessarily. There are sales of this card in a PSA 9 up around the 300 mark. There's also the 182 that you saw that happened the day before this. It is a card that is really all over the range of that 182 all the way up to that 320 mark. Where is a fair price on it? Most of them I had seen were in the lower 200 range, which giving it to me at 200, I don't think that's necessarily a crazy steal based on what the other prices have been going for. But I feel that he feels that the value is really being conceded on that Purdy Aqua if I'm willing to take the rest kind of at full rip, whereas the Purdy Zoom on top of that is a card where at 450 it's kind of at the top of the market. There is one that it's sold around that, but most of them that I've been seeing have been anywhere from like 350 to 425, so 450 would kind of be top of the line there. That's not hugely appealing to me, but again, I really want the Aqua. That is kind of where I think I'm going to be able to get it. If I could just get the Aqua at 200, I'd be absolutely thrilled, but I know he's not going to go for that. I'm going to have to build a stack. So at this point, it's really just maneuvering around, figuring out what I can make work, what combination of cards is going to get us to shake hands. And I'm going to spend the next few minutes trying to figure that out, but eventually we come up with this. What about these three in the Jacobs downtown for $12.50?
I'll do some trading. I do primarily buy.
So where were we at with these? We were at
Basically, it'd be
900.
It'd be like those three at 9 and that at 350, or those three at 850 and that at 4.
Okay.
All right. Keep switching the deals up on me, so let me do some math. So.
Just trying to make it work for
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. If you're spending money, I would do the same thing.
Trevor Lawrence on Nike. Yeah. So.
And I'm giving you this one for a steal. I shouldn't even do that. But all right, so I'm at 900 on this.
Right.
Those would have been 1,000.
Yep.
How much are you putting on this one? 350.
Yep.
You said 1250.
Yep.
I'd do that.
Cool. Thank you.
Some of them.
I talk about it on this channel a lot. I don't really like doing the percent thing, and therefore I kind of had to put my money where my mouth is on that deal. I probably paid a little bit more than I wanted to. That's fine. The Purdy Aqua will really be what makes or breaks that deal. We'll see how it plays out, but time to keep walking the show and keep buying some cards. I see some MVP buyback cards on this table. I'm definitely going to scoop those up if they are a fair price. You don't happen to have any Otanis, do you? You just have Judge for the...
I don't have any Otanis.
You do 80 on all loose. I give him at 95 if you said 30 on Pudge.
How much did you say?
80.
I'm at 75. Okay, there's a refractor there.
Yeah.
I do 85.
That's fine. As far as bookkeeping goes, that's going to be 2 deals done for me. I'll consider the 2 baseball autographs as kind of a separate thing, and I'll pay for those separately in my head. But the 3 Judge buyback cards that total up into $80 of buyback value, I am going to be paying $50 for. That's what I try to do. A lot of times people don't want to redeem the buyback cards that they get out of Chrome. They'd rather just sell them, or they don't want to take the chance that Judge or Ohtani in this case get hurt. To me, I feel like they're pretty safe bets to win the MVP awards, and I'm buying them up. So with that said, if you are looking to sell any of your MVP buyback eligible cards, please let me know. Reach out to me on any social media platform.
How you doing, man?
Good. Do you have prices on the back, please, or what's the case?
I'm just kind of going with the flow. This is my first time setting up the show.
Yeah, okay. William Hines Ward.
50. It's numbered to 15, I believe.
Yeah. How about that Derrick Henry standing up back there?
Got 300 on that.
Numbered to like 25 or something? Okay. Did you say on this one 40? How about Bryce Young? The fire looking one here.
Makes an offer. Probably 10, 15 bucks maybe. Price is kind of a hard one to value because you're basing it off potential at this point.
Well, That's all these guys these days, like it feels like.
Unless it's one of the really big names.
Right.
Or well-established veterans.
Or guys like this that their story has been written.
That's one I don't want to sell, but if it sells, it sells today.
That's fair. You do 80 on all three of them?
Maybe in the middle at 90.
I'll hold off. I'll stick at 80. Well, thank you.
85?
80. All right.
All right, right after that last clip, I ended up making a massive trade. I had a pretty large card that I ended up trading down on into a lot of cheaper football slabs. Now I'm back out on the show floor looking to buy some more. I felt like my momentum was really starting to get going at this point. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start building a stack here and try to keep it going.
I'm interested in the Harper and the Pujols up top. The Skeens auto. And then from here, the Burrow Commission, the Burrow Blank Slate. I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it with these two.
Yeah. Where were you looking to be?
I think we have 15.25 for all those.
When it's my turn to go walk around the show and negotiate myself, I kind of try to follow the golden rule, right? Like, how would I want to be approached as a dealer if I was the one trying to sell these cards? So what I normally will do is I will add everything up in my head ahead of time, pick out everything that I want. That way we're not kind of messing around. I can get straight to the point, say, hey, these are the cards I want. This is what I'm willing to offer. Help save time for them and also help save a little bit of time for me as well.
So I'm at 1850 for all of it. The ones I think I can't move on, probably this one and this one for sure.
Elliot got that.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
He had come up with $18.50 for his sticker. I think my offer was $15.25 or something. That's typically a little lower than what I would normally offer, but I felt a little bit more comfortable because before we kind of started building the stack, he told me that some of the stickers might be a little bit high on certain things. Therefore, he'd be more flexible on certain stickers. That's why I felt a little bit more comfortable making the offer that I did. Now he's kind of breaking down where each of them are at, which ones he can move off of. That's really helpful for me because it might help me identify something that we're just not going to be able to work out an agreement on. But I feel like we're pretty close.
It's such a cool card.
It's awesome. So yeah, you
$250 off.
the problem with these cards is the back is black, so the edge is
16 even is what you
16
said?
even.
So it's hard
Yeah,
to
that's
find
fine.
ones.
Appreciate it.
There you go, 1,600 even on the stack. Involved in there are a lot of cards I've actually already sold, and I can't show you pictures of them, but a couple of Burrow case hits, the Phoenicians out of Phoenix, the Blank Slate out of Origins, the really sweet Jackson Holiday auto. Still have that one. Also have the really cool on-card Albert Pujols autograph from Chrome Black. The Skeens auto, that didn't last too long. The Harper auto, that didn't last too long. A lot of really quality stuff, kind of similar to what I was looking for at the National. Getting kind of that mid-range baseball stuff is really where my sweet spot is at the moment. And as long as the iron is hot, I'm going to keep trying to milk it as long as I can.
Is that the same?
So this is the same card. Dude bought it for $750. It's the exact same card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you've ever been to a show with friends before, you might have had them say, hey, you got to check out this table. And that was the case for this one. A lot of my friends told me that I need to come over here and see what this guy has. Now, I had made several laps around the show. As I mentioned earlier, I was waiting for that one deal to finish up. Pretty much thought I had seen everything, but I was greatly mistaken because this table was here. I don't believe it was set up the first few times I walked around, but oh boy, there was some heat here. You can kind of see there's cards really all over the place. He's got several Zion cases worth of stuff beneath the table as well. A lot of the stuff that's out is some of the baseball slabs. He had a ton of football, so much that he didn't really put much of it out aside from a couple of eye-catching cards like the Michael Vick Triple Threads patch booklet you see over there. But outside of that, you really just had to ask, like, hey, I'm looking for this player. And he had his sons with him, and his sons would help him out by going into the Zion cases and pulling out the cards of said players. So there was so much for me to go through that I really just said, you know what, I'll just take a look at the Amon-Ra St. Brown stuff as well as the baseball and kept it at that because really I could have spent all day there. You see that stack there off to the right that's kind of near the back of the table. Those are all kabooms and downtowns. There was a deal going on off to my right for probably at least 2 dozen, if not 3 dozen kabooms and downtowns. of various different players, and that was really only scratching the surface, no pun intended, of all of the cards that this gentleman had. It was overwhelming, but he had so much cool stuff. Now, I kind of had some insight into how he was pricing things. Basically, he was going based off of card ladder. He would pull it up, he'd look it up, he'd either have you look it up or he'd look it up and come up with a price, and he'd pretty much want whatever that sale was. So I kind of pick and chose things that I felt might be undervalued right now, things that I feel like I could get more than the last sale for, and built my stack somewhat around that strategy. That doesn't mean I was going to exclude things that had a lot of sales on them, but was mostly looking for some bigger ticket items that might be a little bit more rare. That was my strategy, at least. So just to preface what you'll see here in just a moment.
Chase and Joe, and then those are other Bengals.
Should be able to get to 22 for all those.
Get to 22?
Yeah. What I'm doing here on this deal is kind of figuring out each card, what would I be really comfortable with in terms of paying on each one, and then adding them up there. That's why you can kind of see me shuffling through them. Why I tap on the card sometimes is because that is my cue that I'm going to start talking. It's just for editing purposes in the video. Sometimes I'll use it to count, but usually it's just for editing purposes. But yeah, 22 I'd be really comfortable with. I'm expecting him to come back at 24, but anything less than that I'd be satisfied with.
I would do 23. I feel like, I mean, it still comes down to $75, but I feel like I gave kind of the best rate on each of them.
That includes this one?
Includes this one, yep.
Okay. Split it at $22.50?
I would say 23, probably.
23 is your best?
Yeah. That would be for all of them. If we do something else, we'd have to maybe do a little different. The Mookie throws it off, because I honestly think that one could be a lot bigger.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
I tried to push for that $22.50 to no available. That's fine. 23 is fair for these. The Mookie, as he said, that was kind of the big boy card in this. Mookie is in 2014 Topps Chrome Update. Chrome Update is quite a bit different as it is, you know, here a decade later where the parallels are limited. There's really only two parallels in Chrome Update. You have your golds and your black refractors. That's it. Therefore, Mookie options are kind of limited. This is his first, you know, regular Topps Chrome release. The 2015 Topps Chrome design is one that continues to grow on me with each passing year. I've always loved the Jeter card from it, but I feel like every single year that Topps Chrome comes out, I kind of look back on this design, this style, the refractors, the shine on them, and appreciate them more and more. But this is a pretty big Mookie Betts card. This is one that is going to be one that doesn't pop up too often and will probably dictate how this deal winds up for me. I ended up spending more at this show than I ever have at any show before in terms of what I took home at the end. Now, at some of the past national events I've been to, I've definitely sold cards and then rebought cards at the show that probably would have totaled more than this, but in terms of how much I spent at a show and brought home with me, this was up there. And I'll show you this picture as kind of like my final haul of what I brought back with me. It was a banner day buying wise. I bought a lot of quality cards. Now, I do always mention this to people privately, and I'll put it out there here. Just because I spent a lot on these cards doesn't mean that they were all good decisions. I could buy cards very easy at any single show. All I got to do is point at something, ask how much it is, and as long as I have the money, I can buy it. But making decisions that are good business-wise for me is a whole different ballgame. So we'll see how this goes. I tried to be a little bit more aggressive. I tried to take a few more chances here. Basically swung for the fences, and I might have swung out of my shoes on some. On others, I might have, you know, just had a casual single, I guess. I'm running out of baseball phrases to use. But yeah, I'm excited to tell you how this one worked out in a future Rewind episode. But until then, I'll leave you with the photo of the final haul. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll be back next week with some more content. Take care, stay safe, be kind.